Mercury was the primary way to extract gold, silver, and other precious metals from their ores back in the 1800s. Around the 1920s and 30s, they found a new process using cyanide that was cheaper and easier. And so that largely took the primary use of mercury out, took over as mercury's primary. Their shifts were rotated, so especially the guys in the furnaces, where they were heating the mercury and vaporizing the mercury, that they were rotated through jobs. But it is also written and talked about that there were many, many generations of miners that lived here and worked here and never suffered any ill effects from it. At least there's nothing documented that I'm aware of.
When mercury released from natural environment and also from industrial process, those mercury release into the water streams, and those mercury eventually will be converted into this methyl mercury form. And it is considered very toxic form because it is the neurotoxin, and it can accumulate in the food chain. So that means if the fish or organism which is on the higher level of the food chain, they will get more mercury accumulating in the body. So in the past, we have a tragedy called Minamata Bay disease in Japan, where people ate the fish contaminated with methyl mercuries for many years, and eventually they all developed the neurodegeneration disease. They became paralyzed, they couldn't move, and so all of these symptoms are related to the neurodegeneration situation. So we learned that we should avoid too much methyl mercury exposure by controlling our fish intake. Therefore, FDA gave the recommendation that we will eat probably we will eat 2 to 3 servings of fish per week. We don't want to eat fish every day, okay? And when we choose our fish, we want to choose the smaller fish and the fish which is not on the higher level of the food chains. Things like tuna or king mackerel or sharks, those fish contains a lot of methyl mercuries, so we will avoid that kind of fish. And also the seafood market will also have the special labeling on the price tag. You may notice that for each kind of fish, they have country of origin, and also whether the fish of the wild caught or farm raised, put it on the price tag. So that will help customers to decide whether they want to choose the fish, whether it's farm raised or wild caught, and then they can also decide what countries of origin fish they want to eat. Finally, we like to mention that for people who wants to go fishing, they should check with local advisory or look for warning signs to see whether the rivers or lake, the local environment has good amount of methyl mercury in the water. Usually the local advisory will tell people not to fish in the area where methyl mercury is heavily contaminated.